You really have to try this one to believe it. Stick around to the end if you want to see the greatest calf stretch you've never seen. We're going to be talking about the calves in general, how to assess whether you're tight there, and then if you are tight there, what should you do about it? We're going to show you several levels of different calf stretches to do, finishing up with the greatest one that you've never seen, which is actually a little bit more advanced than the other ones. So, I'm Dr. Ben Quist.
And I'm fitness expert Jeremiah Kruger.
Let's get to it.
All right, so let's first talk about why ankle mobility even matters. You've got a lot of exercises that your lower body needs to do, like lunges, squats, hinges, burpees. I don't know, it's endless. There's a lot of exercises that are very reliant on your ability to have flexible ankles.
Also, many times we see people come into clinic, or come into the gym that have just gotten tight calves from doing different activities they're doing, such as maybe you're running a marathon, you're training for that, or maybe you did a really intense workout where you really got that area tightened up. And it's good to address that tightness before it becomes a problem, because tight calves can lead to different injury processes like Achilles tendonitis or plantar fasciitis, and we don't want any of the itises. I don't like itises.
Itises suck.
Itises suck. So we are going to be showing you some stretching techniques if you do feel that you have those tight calves. So just to give you some basics about the ankle, let's do a quick bit of anatomy before we get into the other stuff.
Fine.
Let's first start off with the bony anatomy of the talocrural joint, which is the joint that we're most concerned with. That is formed by the talus bone in the ankle and the arch made by the fibula and the tibia. And the main thing that that joint does is dorsiflexion, which is raising your toes up in the sagittal plane, and plantar flexion, which is pushing your toes back down in the sagittal plane. And that's the main movement pattern that we're going to be concerned with. It does a few other things, but not necessary for this video. Now that we know about the bones of the ankle joint that we're concerned with, let's look at the muscles of the calf complex, and there's two of them. The two muscles that we have that we need to be concerned with are the gastrocnemius, which is the calf muscle right through this region right here, and then the soleus muscle, which underlies that muscle and is down below here. The gastroc is a two-joint calf muscle, so it goes and attaches above the knee and also attaches below that talocrural joint that we just talked about, so those are the two joints. The soleus is a one-joint calf muscle, which attaches just across the ankle joint. And that's important just because of some of the stretches I'm going to show you in a moment. That wasn't like too long, was it? I mean,
You're actually getting faster. That was pretty good.
They need to know the anatomy.
It was nerdy
I'll keep it quick.
Still nerdy, but it wasn't as long.
Fine.
So most of the time, if you have tight calves, you probably know it's a pretty tender muscle when it's sore and when it's tight. So then you're probably just watching this video because you want to know what the world's greatest calf stretch is, and you should know this one. If for any reason you're not sure that your calves are tight, here's a quick, simple test.
Here's the quick, simple calf assessment. And the cool thing about this is once you try the stretching techniques, if you are tight on this, you can use this as a measure of whether or not you're being successful. You can come back, try it again, and see if those calves are loosening up. So what you want to do, and it's best done in bare feet or in your sock, you're going to place your toes roughly about 4 inches from the wall. I like to use a yoga block for that, so I just put a yoga block against the wall, which is 4 inches, or you can measure it out with a tape measure and just mark a spot so that you're always doing it from the same spot. But roughly 4 inches from the wall with the toes. Then what we're going to do is you're going to firmly plant your heel into the ground and then see if you can easily get your knee to the wall. So this is an example of what a calf looks like when it's not tight. So I'm getting my knee to the wall and there's no distance, or my heel is not popping up off the floor at all. So now I'm going to show you what it would look like if your calves are tight. And I would say about 20% of the people I assess in clinic have tight calves. So when they come forward, what will happen is their heel will pop off the ground. Because that calf's so tight, they can't get enough of that dorsiflexion, and it causes that heel to elevate. And that's why when you do things like lunges, which require a lot of dorsiflexion in the foot, or burpees or things of that nature, if you have a tight calf, it can cause a lot of problems. So there. Let's get into the different techniques to loosen up that calf now. So when you're starting, if you have a little bit of time, maybe you've put aside 10 minutes or so to actually get your ankle joint mobile and get your calves stretching, first step is to start with some foam rolling or some type of mob technique to just kind of loosen up the gastroc tissue before you move into the stretch. Kind of takes the brakes out of that area and gets things moving better. So foam roll is perfectly acceptable for that. You can usually find these at any gym or fitness center, or they're very cheap to get online on Amazon or whatnot. First one that we're going to start with is just 2 feet on the roll. So the calves are on the roll, and this is the easiest one. And you're going to take some of your body weight into your arms, and you're going to slowly roll down all the way up to the top of your calf, and then slowly come back the other direction. Most of these mobilization techniques that we're going to show you here, 30 seconds to a minute is great. More might be a little bit better, but I usually cap mine at about 2 minutes. Now, if that's not enough and you're not really feeling it, what you can do is just cross one leg over the other leg, and what that does is adds a little more pressure and weight into the calf that you're rolling, and then roll through, and you definitely feel that a little bit more coming through. And you could even start with the double leg and then switch into the single leg, doing again 30 to 60 seconds or so per different move that you're doing. Once you complete it on one side, you just swap over, you get that other side completed, pop that leg on top there, and then lift up, and then slowly roll through and back and complete your reps. Now we're ready for the stretches. So now we're going to show you some stretches. We're going to show you these in level of difficulty. So the first one is the most basic, and then we're going to move up to a slightly harder one Jeremiah is going to show you, and then we're going to finish up with the world's greatest calf stretch you've never seen. So the first one is the runner stretch. You've probably seen this before. It is not difficult to perform. You can do it anywhere. Hands on a wall surface, 1 foot forward, 1 foot backward. With this, the leg that you're stretching is the leg that's back, so the calf complex of the leg that's back is getting the stretch. We're going to bend at that front knee, making sure to keep that heel firmly grounded into the floor of that back leg until we feel a stretch start to happen in that gastroc soleus Achilles area. Once you feel that stretch happening, you're going to hold for 30 seconds. Step 2 of this stretch is to emphasize more the soleus portion of the muscle. We talked about the fact that there are 2 joint and 1 joint ankle muscles. So the soleus is a 1 joint ankle muscle. So if we bring the foot slightly forward from where we were in the first stretch position, and then we hinge at the knee a little bit, that slackens the gastroc from its upper insertion, and then we can bend that knee a little bit more, again grounding the heel into the floor to really stress that soleus part of the gastroc soleus complex. Same thing, you'd hold for roughly about 30 seconds on this stretch as well.
All right, so here are your level 2 calf stretches. I like these particularly because they feel like more than stretches. They're exercises in and of themselves, and especially when I'm with clients, it's hard to convince yourself that stretching is enough of a workout. This might be. So, number 1 is going to stretch the soleus. We're going to start in a lunge position. My knee is going to be bent. My goal now is the front leg here. My goal is simply to shift my knee as far past my toe as I possibly can. Again, that stretches near the bottom of the ankle, and then I'll come back up. Essentially just doing a split squat with my focus, simply getting my knee as far past my toe as I can. Your heel might lift as long as you still feel the stretch. That is the intent of this movement, is getting knee over toe translation with a little bit of a pull down at the bottom of the Achilles tendon. So now that we just stretched the soleus with exercise number 1, number 2 here is focused on the gastroc, the big calf muscle that you actually see. As always, when I hinge, neutral spine, so tilt that pelvis forward. My goal is to keep my knees mostly, if not completely straight, push my butt as far back as I can, reaching for the floor. I'm already here and I feel a really intense stretch in my calf near the knee. I'm gonna go down and up. You can hold it or you can move through repetitions. If I'm doing movements, I like to do 10 reps. If I'm doing a hold, I like to hold from anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds. This is a really intense stretch, and it is super important that you maintain that spine neutral position so that your central nervous system gets the benefit of this stretch as well.
Okay, are you guys ready for the world's greatest calf stretch? Here it comes. Now, one thing to note, with a lot of these different stretches that we're doing, it's stretching the entire posterior surface of your leg. So many of the calf stretches, even though they're called calf stretches, you're still going to be hitting your hamstrings, you're still going to be hitting, a lot of the other tissue in the backside of the leg, but the emphasis is on the calves. So same thing with this one. This one actually stretches a lot of different parts of your body, but it really smokes the calves. So what you need for this is you need a yoga strap, and you want to attach it at a low point on a piece of equipment at your gym or at a piece of furniture at your house. And then you're going to put the strap across the belt line of your body. And we're going to go into basically what is a downward dog position of yoga. So you're going to extend your arms out straight and get into that downward dog position. And then you're going to press back through your knees. And that's when the entire back surface of your leg, the calves, the hamstrings, everything is going to light up like a Christmas tree. believe me. And the beauty of it is that the strap is pulling down, putting pressure into the system, driving your heels down, so it just accentuates that stretch. You really have to try this one to believe it. So give it a shot. Normally, I typically hold this one like a normal static stretch for roughly about 30 seconds or so, but it's one of my favorite ones to do. Additionally, you're going to be stretching out your lats and other areas of the body as well. Guys, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Please give us a like, please subscribe to our channel, and also please comment down below. We'd love to know what you guys want to hear about. We can do even specific videos for you on health, wellness, physical therapy, exercise, any of those topics that Jeremiah and I are so interested in.
You know what? We're keeping that. First comment on this video, we'll make a video on what you comment.
Oh boy.
We'll see what happens.
Serious? Oh my gosh.
It'll be weird. Okay. And also, one last thing. If you've got a friend or family member who's new to exercise and you want to help them get going in the right direction or give them some guidance, maybe we can be that guidance they need. So please send them our video. As always, thank you.
Thank you.